Howdy, everyone. We're going to be going live again, doing some writing. Um, I'm actually in the midst of editing, which is not nearly as much fun as the writing portion. Um, let's see who might be joining us today. Scott Morgan is going to be joining us in the next couple days. It's kind of one of those days. Everyone is kind of all over the place. I don't know if it's the time of the year or just stress, or writers are finding some super bizarre ways to just in general get involved with stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be battling a lot today. Our first sprint is going to be at 12:10, and it sounds like someone just joined us. Franklin!
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
I'm on page 5 of edits.
I've got 2 giant sections of dictation that I just plopped into my thing that is like just a wall of text that needs to be figured out.
Are you doing any formatting when you do it?
No, besides doing like periods and stuff, I'm not doing like quote marks or anything because it just like slows me down. Well, and I always forget one, and I'm like, what?
Open quote. And then he ran to the end of the bench. Close quote. Oh crap! I forgot the comma. Oh crap! No.
Yeah, I hate it. So I just do commas and periods. Simple enough.
So I notice when I'm dictating, like the commas go up like 300%.
Yeah, because you're like physically pausing your speech.
And so you're like, he walked into the comma. Oh wait, no. It's just downhill.
I started using a thing that I read where someone was like, if you mess up, just say the word whoops, period. And then you know that everything before that is like, just delete that.
Oh, that's really smart.
So I just search out the word whoops and I find all my like parts where I did like half a sentence and then just forgot where I was going with it.
So when I was doing it, when I was driving, you're kind of driving along and you're like in this little magical world in your head dictating, and all of a sudden you're like, swerve, like, gotta stay alive. And you're like,
yeah,
what am I doing? I'm gonna start from scratch, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't do it if I was driving in like traffic or anything. I'm too like afraid of driving with a million people around.
Part of my drive I could do it. Part of my drive I couldn't because the pace of traffic was just too fast for me.
Yeah, as soon as you get to like any merge, it's like, well, can't do this now.
Whoops. It looks like we're gonna have more people coming on Friday to come write with us.
Hopefully I can break my Friday curse of like everyone deciding that noontime is the time to do things on a Friday.
So I had it wasn't like a staff meeting, but I had to do meetings on last Friday at like 3:00, and work gets out at 2. So
weird.
I was like, you guys didn't just wait till late. And of course I didn't see the email because I shut down my computer at 2:30 on Fridays. And I get a text message, hey, you need to join this meeting. I'm like, okay, but what happened to the 8 hours before that time?
Yeah.
Oh, when I was sitting there bored with nothing to do.
Yeah, the video meetings, sometimes they're like productive and other times they just like turn into just like nonsense. We don't be here.
My last department meeting was completely like an emotional check-in. It had nothing to do with anything school related. Basically, it was just like, oh yeah, I'm gardening a lot lately, and oh, I learned to cook this. Like, it was just people talking because every time we get together, it's like, okay, so here's all the new protocols that we're going to go through. Here's the 100 protocols. Okay, so everything from last time has changed. Here are the new things. And you have notes that you're just like, forget this, forget this. Oh, now I need to do this. So it was kind of nice. Like, everyone in my department apparently became a birder. Like, okay.
Oh my goodness. Is there like, are all the Audubon Society birdwatch books sold out now?
Oh my God. Like, everyone has a bird feeder that has become like the most exciting thing ever. And it's funny because I saw the meme of like a month ago where people are like, everyone's getting excited that the bird feeders are replacing Netflix. Like, it's apparently true.
Live
So
entertainment.
I set a sprint for 12:10. How close am I to finishing this chapter? Yeah, okay, only a paragraph. I'm trying to now balance editing with writing because I need new books out. Like, it's now become a thing. Like, new books must happen.
Yeah. Yesterday I did the whole stockpile a bunch of like cover mock-ups where I was like, here's where the art will go. Here's my fancy text. And I was like, okay. I'm gonna make
I have my artist is working on the next two book covers, and so he's actually way ahead of the game, which is awesome because the cover takes the longest because it's being hand drawn. But I need to get the manuscript to an editor, so my side of it is done. It's just I'm clogging up my own production wheel now.
Yeah. It's like you gotta like the content creation part is your sole it's just under your responsibility.
And since COVID started, it's been like, okay, I'm going to mass produce books. Well, I almost have 4 books on a shelf. Like, they're not making me money there. So
Yeah.
I guess it's time for me to get my act together. But I need to edit through this because there's a subplot. The romance subplot is actually wound up being way more important than I anticipated. And I'm glad that I wrote it the 3 books all together because I needed something to happen in the 3rd book because I created a logical fallacy that I couldn't get out of without this other person. Mm-hmm. But they've broken up. They don't like each other anymore. They're practically enemies. And then all of a sudden comes around, and there's been no wish-washing leading up to this. So you're just like, oh, the douchebag turns out to be a good guy. Well, that was unfounded.
Yeah, there's gonna be some hints. Like,
yeah, and there's nothing. So I am glad that I did it this way because I would have had to basically just create a superhero. All of a sudden they get slightly more powerful and win the fight. Basically, it would have just been a Marvel comic.
They did it because they are Iron Man.
Yeah. He went back and added a new blaster, changed everything. He wins. Done.
Yep, of course. Oh, boy.
Superman provides some more smoldering eyes, and all of a sudden he wins.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right. I'm going to hop into a sprint, and I may actually be able to write this one.
All right.
Here we go. time.
Here you go. I successfully finished one chapter.
I am on page 9. I'm editing all the flashbacks first.
Just like get them all out of the way.
I might actually go print the flashbacks because every one of my books has like 5 chapters of flashback. I might go print out the chapters for books 2 and 3 and do those so I have continuity.
Sounds.
If I can get to page 16 today, I'm going to call it.
How many
victory.
total pages?
131 for this one. But thankfully, this book doesn't require a lot as far as any restructuring or any new plot development because the romance piece happens in book 2. So book 2 is going to be the heavy edit. This, I just need to put more World War II flavoring into the story. Because right now it doesn't act like there's a war.
Just a mild inconvenience.
Well, it keeps talking about the fight overseas, and then I just never follow it up. Like, I created the world, so like there's poverty and there are nurses that are working rolling bandages. So like there are definitely elements, but like I feel it's not as all consuming as it should be. So we'll see.
Yes.
Penny is on a mission today. It looks like there's going to be another one at 35. Really, these sprints are the only way I actually get real work done.
This will be my one, and then I'll have some time left over to like wrap up my we had one of our computers, we had like a giant power surge at the office where I work, and so far I've been the only one here in the building, and I came in last week and everything was off, which was weird. And I was like, I didn't turn all this stuff off, and we must have had like a massive power surge because all the computers were off. And the one that we use for all of our central like Dropboxing and everything was all screwed up because there's a glitch and we have to like reinstall it. But that means we have to copy all the important things off. And I'm like, oh no. So we're like trying to get this done because it's so much crap. But it's like looking on the forums is so useless because everyone's like, well, just wipe your hard drive and start over. And it's like, this shouldn't even be a thing. This is why we keep backups of everything.
So that was my big issue when I overwrote my Scrivener file. And I was like, oh, it's on Dropbox. Oh, wait, it doesn't actually go into Dropbox correctly. And so I go and like look up help files and they're like, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. Why wasn't this a warning ahead of time?
Yeah, no. That's why I do like periodic like save as, and I just save it somewhere else just in case because I'm so paranoid.
I mirror my hard drive every few days just out of complete and utter concern. But I also have it saved in Dropbox, and while it would be horrific to get it, at least then I know it's safe. But I have 9 books in one Scrivener file, so what I really need to do is start splitting them all up.
Yeah.
But then I don't even, once I go to publication, I don't use the Scrivener file anymore. I use the Vellum file. So I have to keep checking, like, oh, which one was the newest thing that I did?
Yeah, that is weird because you have to go back and forth to be like, oh, copy everything that to from one to the other, whichever way.
Um, Miranda, be careful, because I think Google Drive does the same thing. It doesn't actually save a correct Scrivener file, which is horrific. I don't think there is a Scrivener is, when you look at its file structure, it's just wrong. Everything about it wrong.
I just save the entire thing and I just put like the date and then an A, and then I'll do like a B if I work on it later in the day. And I just like assume that I'll just if one of them in Dropbox becomes corrupt or something, I'll just like remove it and then copy in my last dated whatever and have it sort itself out.
And I
But
definitely best thing that you can do for Scrivener at least is to have multiple files. So like I should, every Friday change it to, week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
Miranda, what you have to be careful of is the Scrivener has a tendency of overwriting files, and if it uploads to like Dropbox or Google Drive and you didn't want it to overwrite a file, that file is permanently lost and there's no way to get it back using the restore features of Google Drive. That's where the problem comes in. As long as you don't overwrite your file, you should be fine.
Just make sure you name it something unique, like add a thing at the end, so it's like, oh, this is a new thing. And I'm the person who saves my document every 2 minutes just because of the one time when I used to use a floppy disk in high school and it lost all my Harry Potter fan fiction, damn it.
I have Scrivener set to autosave every, I think, 3 minutes.
That's
so
useful.
It's constantly at the top being like, saving. I'm like, I write fast enough, you'll never catch up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go. I got 7 more pages.
Okay.
all of a sudden I'm like, why is my keyboard crunching like that?
Yeah. Oh. No, it's me.
I keep thinking things are breaking.
Oh.
I got 3 pages. I forgot. So my protagonist in this is like 7 years old, and like I have to keep watching my language because she elicits a giggle. No 7-year-old knows the word elicits.
Yeah,
And it's written in first person.
You end up with the To Kill a Mockingbird syndrome, where it's like clearly this is like a young child written by a like woman in her 40s.
And so to make it function, you definitely do have to make it more mature, but like I'm going through trying to make sure she reacts like a 7-year-old. And I mean, she's a 7-year-old who sees ghosts that tell her the future. So like she's got issues. But some of the spots I'm like, wow, that's a big word even for me.
It's like a fine line between making
a 7-year-old.
It's like a fine line for making your prose sound exciting and like staying with character.
Thankfully, it only goes on. It's only in this book. In the next book, she's 16, and she's in a mental hospital. So, the language becomes much more horrific, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had written. Thought I only written 5, but apparently there's 7 chapters of flashback, but they're short. They're probably like maybe 5 pages each in a book. Oh, Lordy, Lord. Oh, I keep getting sucked into Facebook arguments, and I've officially just declared like I'm on a warpath.
Gosh.
I can't handle stupid anymore, so I'm
like this close to being like, you know what, I'm gonna just deactivate for a month and not just like ignore it for now. It's just too much.
So like I've been avoiding social media. I've been avoiding the news to some degree because knowing bad things are happening, knowing more bad things are happening doesn't change the fact that I know bad things are happening. So
yeah,
unless something magical all of a sudden turns into it's better, I'm just going to stick with the status quo if it's horrible.
Yeah. I woke up to like every single person that I know posting like a mile-long things, and I'm just like, guys, I don't have the time to stop and read this. I know it's important, but I just don't have the mental capacity to do it, and it's really not going to change. Like, it's not going to make me. I don't know how to put this into words. Like, it's not going to help me to make a difference by reading it. Like, there's not much that I can do other than just be supportive.
Though I did see Portland had rallies yesterday.
They did, and I guess they went well and they stayed peaceful, which I was very happy about.
Because one of my friends, she left it. Everything was going fine, and she left it. And the road that she took to leave, all of a sudden there were 2 squads of riot cops, and so she was like, well, I guess I'm not going to go anywhere. And so she followed them, and because she was taping the whole thing and it was live on Instagram,
Mhm.
And they had like there weren't a lot of people in Portland, and they were armed to the nines. And she was like, everything's going so nice and peaceful right now, and then you're going to show these people coming into the equation. She goes, this can't possibly end well. And thankfully they actually stayed kind of out of sight,
Mhm.
because if they had shown up, I can just imagine that would have gone bad quick.
Yeah, and I knew some people that went, so it was like I'm worried for them. Like, ugh, like no, this is Maine. This stuff does not happen here. And like Portland is like the hub of the state, really. So it's like if it was gonna happen anywhere, it was gonna happen here. But
I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't happened in Lewiston, just because Lewiston has a really strong Black community. And I mean, let's just be honest, the majority of people in Lewiston are far below the poverty line. So
yeah, that's the place where it's always like real estate is so affordable. And I'm like, oh.
for what I paid for my house here, I could have bought a 3 apartment unit, and each of the apartments had 3 bedrooms.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous to me. No, it's really it's just really stressful right now, and like, oh boy.
I'm going to a protest this weekend in town. I live in a very red town, so.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids have already done, the high school students have already done 2 marches, and the police have been there, and the police go with them and accompany them. And our police department is pretty level-headed, so I don't think anything bad's going to happen. But you know, we are a very red town, so I decided like I'm just going to go to show support, and you know,
yeah,
I'm more concerned of COVID than anything else.
Exactly. Like that was like my number one thing where I'm like, yes, protest if you want. It's your right, but like, oh my gosh, are we not still afraid? like we were afraid of people going to the beach, and you're all just gonna go on this little tiny sidewalk together? No, thanks.
So I'm not excited to see what the numbers for that are gonna look like. And I feel bad because
I hope it doesn't turn out. Because that's just a terrible altogether situation.
Like that's
on top of a bad situation. No.
So I'm gonna go, and I'll probably sit in my car because otherwise I'll have an anxiety attack.
It'll be a drive-in protest.
Yeah. Which they're actually, because our common isn't really huge and they're requiring social distancing, so they're even saying like, we strongly support if you want to stay in your car, then so
yeah,
I'm on board with that.
Put a giant put your not banner, put your poster board, tape it to the hood of your car.
Stick my hands out.
It's like where they do like, we support seniors. It'll be like that. Just get the car chalk or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You do what you can, and then
yeah.
It's
like, I'm not good with confrontation in my own personal life, so I'm just like, everybody, please just be nice to each other and let's get along with each other. Like, we all have to live. Come on. Like, please do the right thing, whoever you are.
I basically just lost my shit on a whole bunch of people's posts, and no shame. I'm on a warpath. I can't handle stupid anymore.
I have so much guilt for fighting with people, so it'll stay with me for weeks. So I can't do it.
I reach a tipping point, and then after that, it's 0 fucks to give.
Yeah. Oh, that must be so nice to be able to just turn that part of yourself off.
Yeah, there is definitely once you get to there, the switch turns off, and I no longer care about the fallout. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, this is the world we live in.
Are you heading out? Are you?
I should like I got probably like a couple more minutes left
Okay.
before. Yeah.
When do you think your next when are you shooting for your book to be published?
Uh, I would like to have it out sometime this month. I don't have a like date set, but I just got to go through and make sure it's all formatted in Vellum and then I read it through and all that jazz.
I'm fairly confident I can get this out June.
Yeah, like, is it better? My thinking is like, and I'm so dopey with it, where it's like, oh, should I wait till the beginning of a month? Does it matter? Should I just do it at the end of the month? Like, I don't think it really matters, but
I've done
something
releases
like
at
I
both
did
the
it.
beginning and the end, and unless you're one of those people who's trying for like New York Times bestseller, then
No. When I was looking through, because I was gathering up some more stock photos and stuff, and I was reading through like licenses and whatnot, because I found some good stuff, so I'm pleased with what I've got. And it's better than what I could have created on my own with my own abilities. But it was like, you can do unlimited ebook selling. And I was like, perfect. And then it was like, print on demand. If you sell more than 500,000 copies, you need to do extended. And I was like, if I ever sell 500,000 copies of any single book,
yeah.
I will be glad to pay the license.
I will go back through and I will make sure you get your paycheck.
Exactly. But for now, it's like I'm lucky to sell 2 paperbacks of something because that's just the way it is.
Now you've made me wonder. So it's hard for me to figure out because I re-released when I got my rights back. So I can't do, I would have to do a lot of math. Let's see. Oh God. It's obvious, like I'm in the thousands on ebooks and I'm like not even to 200 on paperbacks.
No, so it's so weird. It's like, all right, guys. And it's like partly, I mean, I buy physical books more often when I walk into a store because I'm going there specifically to find something to take home with me. So I'm not really someone who is like, oh, order the hardcover from Amazon. It's like, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to buy the ebook so I can just download it immediately.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that, though I do find when I get a really good, I'll get someone to buy like my whole set.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, that's the paperback. They buy all the books together.
Yeah, if they're all done, then I could see that for somebody who wants to like binge, but they also like to collect.
I just like that. What are they, like $15 each? So that's $75 worth of books in one purchase. Like, don't get me wrong, I can spend that going into Barnes and Noble, no problem. But it just doing it through Amazon feels weird.
Yeah, I will have no question in my mind dropping like $35 on some fancy illustrated edition of something or.
Oh, that. Let's see if I still have it listed in here.
Like I still have all my hardcovers from when Borders was going out of business, and I was like, "Yep, all these Marvel collections."
Oh God, I bought so many art books when they were going out of sale. Oh, I guess I don't have it now. But I have like a signed edition of Merrick by Anne Rice that someone got me, and it's like the leather bound like cover, which the book by itself probably cost $35. And he was just at a signing where Anne Rice happened to be there, and he was like, eh. And so the thing is that the signing was over, and they were just books sitting there for just generic purchase from a Barnes and Noble. And so,
yeah, she just signed like a stack of them.
So it doesn't have like, a custom thing in it.
Yeah, I bought one of her. I think it was her latest one, where they had at one of the local bookstores I went to. They had like it was like a stack of like 10, and it was like these ones are signed, and I was like, "Yep, that's the one that I am getting." It's in blue ink. I know it's real.
Miranda, I do the exact opposite thing. All my nonfiction is in ebook, and I'm reading more fiction in ebook, but I hate buying tech books. So like, you know, WordPress for Dummies, for instance, it's out of date within 2 months. So at least sometimes on the ebook, until the new edition comes out, they'll still make updates and you can go back and refresh it.
I like that.
But I hate paying, $35 for a book I know will be out of date in a month. And like the last one I bought was on using Maya, and I was teaching 3D animation, and the book was $145.
It's crazy.
And the ebook was like $65. So
No.
I made the school pay for it.
Yeah, for real. I like having fiction in digital because it just keeps track of where I am and everything. I don't have to worry about having a million sticky notes in my library.
I'll also be the first one to say it. I read when I'm in the hot tub, so I pull it up on my phone and it's like, would you like to go to the last place you were? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I would. Yes, please.
Hello, Alley Cat. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, the digital has come a long way from when it first, because I remember reading on the very first like Kindle keyboard, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can get all this stuff on here. I wish all of it was available. And every once in a while, there's still one random book that is not available digitally, and I'm like, why not? You're just not bothered to do the formatting on it? Come on now.
So there's a book for a definitive study of environmental design and publishing, and I really want it, but it's like a $75 book, and the ebook is $74.99.
No, that's crazy to me.
It's the only book in this field, so like they can set whatever price they want. And I think if I remember correctly, the publishing house is actually a university, so it's a university press, and those are always more expensive. But I'm like, I want the data in this book, but do I want it $75 worth? It's on my list, and I keep looking at it.
Yeah, that's when I put stuff like that on my wish list, and I'll check to see if it drops randomly.
Yeah, like where's your 99-cent deal?
Seriously.
For all 4 people who might buy it.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, but I don't know. $75 for a digital file? Come on now.
And even if you were gonna bootleg a book, it's a university press. Like no one bootlegs those. So
no. Here, copy of Algebra 2.
So can you imagine when like college textbooks? So I had to buy I sold it because it was worth so much money. I bought an art book, and I only bought the second half of the edition. So it's like 800 pages, and it's the definitive art history book, and it's $380.
Oh my gosh.
For a college student.
Yeah.
That was my rent. So like if it was today, you would just be like, oh, rent or bootleg.
Yeah. I don't miss those days.
And I don't condone illegally downloading files, but I also don't condone a college making me spend $800 on books that never get read.
Yeah, and it's usually like, read these 5 pages, and you're like, thanks a lot.
And when I was in Salem, the library didn't keep textbooks. It was just not a thing they did. And now you can, they have textbook loan programs. So if, you can't afford them, you can just rent them for the first month, and then you just read all the assignments you need and you're done.
Yeah, just screenshot all the sections that you do.
Well, that's like students in my class, instead of taking notes from the board, they're like, can we just photograph it?
It's so crazy.
Just do
It's
it.
amazing.
Because
that's really smart. I wish I had that technology when I was doing classes.
I remember taking the tape recorder and then dictating the notes back later.
Oh, so good.
Because I couldn't take my laptop because I was the only one with a laptop at the time, and it was so loud, like click, 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 click. Sorry. And you tried to type.
Yeah, back then laptops were, I know my laptop was like a beast. Like it wasn't like a little, my discreet like MacBook Air that takes up no space. It was like, this thing is just, it's like a giant external screen. You can't even see over it.
It's 15 pounds of danger.
Yeah. You will take somebody out if you bump into them with it.
and I mean, don't get me wrong, like my MacBook is expensive, but my first laptop was a Dell Inspiron, and it was $5,200. And I remember it was the only gift I got for my birthday and graduation in college and anything.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't want to take this out of my dorm room because, this is worth more than my car.
Yeah. They lasted for a good long time, though.
I think I had that for like 6 or 7 years. I mean, it traveled East Coast with me for a while. Maybe that's why I lost all that weight back then, because I was lugging it around.
Just lugging it around. Oh boy, like switch arms with the bag to do the other side.
You're like, do you have a 2000 laptop in your bag or a bunch of bricks? Well, same thing.
Well, it is quite heavy. Oh goodness.
All right. I'm going to end this here. I know a couple people popped on. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we're going to do sip and sprint. So 6 p.m. Eastern time. Bring cocktails and watch me get drunk. And maybe I shouldn't edit while drunk. I'll write tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably
brainstorm.
All right, hold on a second. So I'll see everyone later.